If you will rise, our invocation tonight will be led by Major Philip Irish from the Salvation Army, who will then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Join me in prayer, please. Almighty Father God, we just seek your face and your wisdom and your guidance for our school board as they meet and deliberate and plan to support our community, our young people, our teachers, so that they may be strengthened. Father, we ask a blessing on them as they pour themselves out to develop our students so that they can meet their full potential and have full and fruitful lives for the blessing of our whole community. We ask these simple things with great expectation and confidence that you will provide. In Christ's name, amen. Join me in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Major Irish. The June 28, 2018 Clay County School Board meeting will come to order. Let me state for the record that Superintendent Davis is not able to be here tonight. He is out of town, and in his stead, we've got Dr. Michael Kemp, who is our Assistant Superintendent for Operations, and we'll try to behave.
That would be great.
Okay. Before we get into the student showcase, let me first welcome new citizens. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card, which you will find located in the back of the room, indicating the specific item number or topic you wish to speak about, and turn it in promptly. You can turn the cards in to Mr. D'Agata, who is our attorney. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentations from the audience. Your participation is welcome and appreciated. Now, before we do not have a student showcase, and before we get into anything else, I want you to know, and I think I am speaking on behalf of the Clay County School Board and for Superintendent Davis, we had some wonderful news this week. Clay County is now an A school district. What's more, and Clay County is the 8th ranked district in the state of Florida. So this is cause for celebration. And then when I got up early this morning and went and got my newspaper, I have to have this on camera. The headline for the Florida Times Union, Clay School District earns an A. So I want everyone to see this. Oh, this one's better. This has the Alabama A on it. Good, you are good. And we are just all on cloud nine and elated. The other thing that we are celebrating is that we have reached agreement with both CESPA, our support union, and with CCEA, our teachers union. And so we have reached an agreement, and so all we lack is for the unions to ratify, and we're good to go. I would have to go back many, many years to think if we have ever settled this early. Do you know, Mr. Brodsky?
Back in the day, I was a teacher in '89, and we would settle, and then for the last 15 years, it hasn't been this early, at least.
It seems like to me over the years that we just patted ourselves on the back if we could settle before school started. So this is outstanding. That's what you do in an A school district, and we're all working together. So I just had to brag a little bit. We don't get to brag a whole lot, but we're going to be doing a lot of bragging from now on. So and if y'all didn't get the Times Union, please get it. And I am sure that the local paper, the Clay Today, that comes out on Thursdays, I'm sure Clay today. We'll give, hint, right. You can tell Mr. Cravey that, please, and Mr. Cantrell. Okay, recognitions and awards. Recognize the 2017, 2018 retirees, Jackie Corey.
Good evening. I'd like to thank you for giving us this special time to acknowledge some really special people that have come to join us tonight. It's my honor to present this special group of retirees who's dedicated literally thousands of years of service to our county. This year, the graduating or retiring class of 2017-18 has 117 employees. 13 were able to join us tonight for a total of 2,375 years of service to this county. And as a district, we know that it's difficult to replace all that wisdom and knowledge that walks out the door with them. And with them, there's a certain, there are two groups. There's the group that's anxious and uncertain about the future. Then there's the group, and there may be a few in this group, that say, give me the piece of paper, where do I sign it? So I'm sure we have both categories here tonight. Like I said, we have 13 employees that are here, or retirees that are here, and we just wanted one more chance as a district to just show them how much we appreciate all those years. We know that there have been celebrations with their families and schools and departments, and they come from all ranks, the 117. But we feel like as a district, we want to showcase them on the board at a board meeting. So if Ms. Studdard will come down, she felt like she looked better to help me with the certificates than Dr. Kim.
I just said I look.
I have a face for radio.
I would also like to recognize Tanya English, and I just can't tell you how much she helps every retiree that comes through the district. And every one of them, when they came through the back door, hugged her neck and said how much they appreciated her help. She just has that gentle South Georgia personality, and we appreciate it, Tanya. Yes. So if you'll come up front when I call your name, and if you'll stay up front so we can get a picture. Eva Battle with 27 years of experience or service to the county. Do you want to do individually? Okay, thank you. Diana Bellamy with 35 years of service.
She's starting high school?
That's what I was just thinking. Laura Bradley with 15 years of service to the county. Kathleen Cargill with 10 years of service. Marcus Dooley with 32 years of service. Catherine Finney with 21 years of service. Sharon Gast with 33 years of service. Phyllis Harrison with 25 years of service. Kenya Hernandez with 10 years of service. Donna O'Brien with 15 years of service. Lucille Pitts with 23 years of service. Twenty-five years of service, I'm sorry. Elaine Thornton with 23 years of service. And Wanda Woods with 32 years of service. Okay, now we need a group photo.
Madam Chair, may I make a couple observations? All the retirees are smiling, so that tells you something. But I also wanted to publicly thank Jackie Corey for all of her work in HR. This will be her last official action, although she's with us till the 19th of July. I just want to recognize your hard work publicly, Jackie. We really appreciate you up there.
Well, wait just a minute. We're losing our audience. Hey, they're retirees. I mean, okay, we have no presenters tonight. There's no school showcase, no scheduled citizen request. This is the last call for comment cards. Is there anyone who wanted to fill out a card? Okay. Presentations from the audience, there are none. Let me get my computer back. Okay, the next item is the adoption of the consent agenda.
I'll move approval. Second.
We had one item pulled to discussion, C4. So this would be a motion to approve.
Is that me?
I don't know.
Easy.
Okay.
No, well, not now.
Are we
Is that-
still
is it
on?
fine now? You're good.
No, it doesn't. Am I on? Okay. So the motion is to approve with the exception of C4 that was pulled to
I'll move
discussion.
approval.
Have a motion by Ms. Kirikas, second by Ms. Condon. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Next is the CCEA update, and Betsy Rager will speak tonight on behalf of CCEA.
My voting's not coming up. Has everybody else's come up?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's not even a box there to click on to vote. Yeah, there's no spot that says votes like there normally is.
Just a minute, Ms., wait just a
push-
minute.
Just
Um,
put me down.
Ms. Kirikas' computer didn't come up to vote, so would you vote for her, please? It was an aye. Let him see. Okay, Betsy, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'll be speaking for CCEA and CESPA.
Okay.
I'll say all
Oh,
of that.
okay.
It's really cool to be up here and not have the red light to worry about, I have to say. And it's really nice to be celebrating some really great news with y'all tonight. First and foremost, CCA would like to say how proud we are of all of our schools and our teachers and the district. We're an A district again, 8th in the state. I think we're up from 15th last year, so that's a big jump. This wouldn't be possible without the hard work and dedication of the many highly effective, skilled, and talented faculty in this district. They are really moving children and changing lives. And that's something I think we can all be proud of. And also want to say thanks to the board for recognizing that talent, skill, and hard work and that bargaining is wrapped up. And we're very, very happy that the board has finally agreed to provide some relief for employees in the form of a substantial increase to the insurance contribution. And we'll be putting it out for ratification in early August. We think it's going to be very well received by our membership. We're not yet where we need to be, but that was definitely a nice big step in the right direction. And for the first time since dinosaurs roamed the earth or Dave Broski was in the classroom, we're settling before school starts, so we're excited about that. And furthermore, at the last school board meeting, you took a brave step and approved an additional mill to go on the August ballot, and we're very, very proud to partner with you to help educate our citizens about the importance of that initiative. Those additional funds are going to help us to move SROs into every school, harden our schools, shore up infrastructure, and recruit and retain talented faculty and staff, and allow this district to continue on our quest to shove St. John's out of the way and become number one in the state. So that's all the good news. I'm going to circle back and talk about something I talked about earlier this year about school grades and St. John's Classical Academy. And I shared with you some of my concerns that this school choice was not accessible to many students in Clay County. And you'll probably remember that I learned that St. John's doesn't offer transportation, free or reduced lunch, accommodations or services for those students with significant disabilities, and that the required uniforms are super expensive and come from Tommy Hilfiger. And I was also concerned that charter schools are supposed to provide alternatives for students who are stuck in failing schools. And we don't have any failing schools in Clay County. So SJCA decided to open and provide support and rescue those students from the Fleming Island schools, the most affluent and highest performing schools in the district and even the state. So it seems suspect. Those of you who voted to allow this charter to open, you promised parents a superior educational experience to that available in public schools. Well-meaning parents registered their children for this school, hoping to provide a high-quality education for their students. They didn't get what they were hoping for. School grades were released this year, and St. John's Classical did not live up to the hype. SJCA received a total grade of C, which is passing, but almost every other Clay County school outperformed them significantly. Excuse me. In contrast, the schools in the surrounding neighborhood, the schools that these students were rescued from, received A's. Every single Fleming Island elementary school, the middle schools they feed, and the high school received A ratings. So let's look at how SJCA stacks up against the district. ELA achievement. SJCA scores 62, 19th in the district. Not bad for school's first year, I guess. But I think that probably speaks more to the quality of education these students received in other schools prior to their attendance, especially when you consider the rest of the data. ELA gains. SJCA comes in dead last. They did a poorer job of moving students in ELA subjects than any other school in the district. Math achievement, 40th out of 41 schools. Math gains, last. Science achievement, last again. Social studies achievement, so here they do okay. They come in 10th, not too bad. But when you look at the total overall points, SJCA gets 363 compared to the district average of 707, and putting them in 40th place out of 41 schools. They receive 45% of the possible points. But here's the thing that's most troublesome to me. Somehow, SJCA managed to perform this miserably with 17.7% economically disadvantaged students. That's also last place. And it's so skewed from the demographics of our district. Overall, more than half of our students qualify for free and reduced lunches. And as we know, unfortunately, economic disadvantage is a significant barrier to academic success. So how did other schools do? 25 schools outperformed SJCA with 50% or more economically disadvantaged students, and 8 schools outperformed them despite having 100% poverty rates. No other school in this district had less success when it comes to moving students. Let that sink in. You took students from the highest performing schools in this district, promised their parents something better, and put them in the worst school in the county. And gave them a contract for a 5-year deal. And gave them some money to build a beautiful new building and have no oversight into how any of that money is spent. You allowed these parents to be sold a bill of goods. You took money out of my children's schools and gave it to a private organization that obviously doesn't know how to move children. If you voted for this, you should be ashamed of yourself. Your one job is to provide the students of this county the best possible education, and you failed. So that's CCEA. CESPA. CESPA's super happy with the way bargaining turned out. Thank you very much. We are also excited to help you support the mill. We're celebrating with you on the A District, and we would also like to wish Ms. Jackie Corey very well. She's been wonderful to work with, and thank you very much for her service. And that's it for your unions.
Thank you. You know, I was just sitting here thinking when she mentioned the A District and the 8th in the state, I apologize because there was one big thing that I failed to do, and that is to thank all of the superintendent, the administrators, the teachers, our support staff, because to be an A District, it takes everyone working together. And we are so appreciative because I know the teachers have told us how hard they worked in the classrooms, but there's so much else. Transportation, those bus drivers have to get them to school, and the cafeteria workers have to feed them. And so it's hard to single out and just thank one group. It takes everybody in this district working together, and I want you to know that this board is very appreciative, and we want you to know that we appreciate you, and we're glad that you're happy with the bargaining. We want to do the best that we can do, and stay out of jail. So that's the way it is. We do not want to spend money we don't have. Okay.
There's one more group, Ms. Studdard.
Who?
The students.
The students.
The
Absolutely.
students
Those
perform.
students have worked so hard. And also another group are the parents, because the parents are so important in supporting their students and being supportive of the teachers. But these students have worked very, very hard, and we were able to eliminate some of the testing so that, we didn't want them to get sick taking so many tests. So we tried to help some with that. But the kids deserve a good summer vacation, so good for them. Okay. All right, let's move along now. We'll go to the discussion agenda. Oh, superintendent's update and presentations. Dr. Kemp, you have the floor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. I can't tell you how excited we are. It was a great day in Clay County. On behalf of the superintendent, the senior leadership team, we cannot express how proud we are of our students, our teachers, the support staff that supports, like you just mentioned, our administration in the schools for elevating Clay. I had a chance to speak with the superintendent. Now, when I tell you he's excited, and he's energetic and passionate anyway, when I tell you he's extremely excited, he is. And in fact, I know he cannot wait to return to present the success of the schools this year in detail to you. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to think this is the ghost of Superintendent Present, but he was so excited that he sent an audio message, and he wanted
Oh, dear
for
Lord.
you to hear this. And you'll be glad to know that it's not 37 slides. I cut him down to 2 minutes.
We should have known.
So Nathan, if you'll play that message from the superintendent, please.
I cannot believe.
And hope you're having a great night. Wish I could be there this evening. However, I am in Boulder, Colorado with my family as my daughter is playing in a national event. And as superintendent, we're never off. So I just want to make certain that I had an opportunity to address each and every one of our community members this evening, and just let them know how proud I am of our school district becoming an A school district for the first time in many years. And for us to really, get to a point where we're really working collectively in order to improve teaching and learning. As I said yesterday, the results are really a reflection of the hard work, dedication, and commitment to our teachers, our leaders, our school district, our support staff, and our board members. We talked about day one coming in our vision to strengthen the work in order to accelerate student achievement, in order to become an aid, in order to attract newcomers, and to support the great things that are happening in this county. And at this point, the data just recently released really validates the work that we are doing internally, and it shows that we are willing to work in a collaborative manner in order to move the school district, not only in the top 10 school district, because right now we are in the top 10, we are number 8 in the state, but move transition to the top 5 and hopefully be able to compete to take on St. John's as that number 1 seat.
Right.
We're really proud of everyone's hard work and dedication to this process. As we look at overall grades, we moved up 5 schools moved up to A's this year. We had 2 schools move to B's, and we decreased our number of D schools by 9 and only having 1 school that grade that is undesirable. Nonetheless, we're excited about that 12 schools moved 1 letter grade, including the greatest gains this year, which is Wilkinson Elementary School. Hats off to them and their hard work, as they had an increase of 91 points. But overall, the greatest increase was at McCray Elementary School with 123 points. I am super proud of everyone. I'm very thankful for this board for believing in me and supporting me in this process. Thankful for my cabinet, thankful for our teachers, our support staff within the school district, and our parents and our students, as we all work in order to elevate Clay. Thank you. Wish I was there and watching from afar, and look forward to coming back next week and hitting the ground running to become a systemic A school district within Clay County. Have a good evening.
There you go. So when you talk about the results, it does validate something that's really important to us as a leadership team as well, and that is not only are we taking steps in the right direction, but we're also taking a look at what can happen when a board and superintendent partnership work collaboratively and supportive in the best interest of students, and making sure every decision we make is about our kids. So now we do realize, we know our superintendent, he's got 1 gear. And
It's called high gear.
It's forward. So as change happens within the organization, I can tell you this: we realize at first. I remember the deer in the headlight looks, and we realize at first it's kind of like drinking out of a fire hydrant with a straw. But look what happens when people trust the process. Look what happens when we work together, and getting results seems to solve a lot of problems when it comes to the growth pains associated with change. So I just want to personally thank the board. I want to thank our senior leadership, our teachers, and how proud we are of our teams out there in the schools with kids. It's a great, great opportunity, a great day for Clay. Now, I guarantee you he's already sent an email to the principals last night, as well as probably to you as well, where he is saying that we will be in the top 5 next year. That is the vision, and then we're going to be chasing St. John's. So St. John's needs to look out. We're heading that way. Congratulations again. That concludes the report.
Okay, and Mr. Davis, you said you would be watching tonight, so we should have known that we would hear from you during the board meeting. Enjoy. Okay, thank you. Is that all, Dr. Kemp? Okay. Next, D1, appoint 1 board member and 1 citizen member to serve on the 2018 Value Adjustment Board. When I made the committee assignments, Karen, Ms. Bush told me today that I had appointed Ashley Gilhousen, but this needs to come from the board. Does Ms. Gilhousen want to serve on the value adjustment? Okay, and I have inquired. Ms. Bush gave me a sheet of the history of who served, and I believe that Ms. Gilhousen and Ms. Bola are the only 2 who haven't served on the value adjustment board yet. So, if I could get a motion, I would love to see Ms. Gilhousen be on the board and Ms. Bola be the alternate, so we can get everybody to enjoy the value adjustment board.
Move approval.
But before we do that, do we need the citizen also, and do
Oh,
it
and
in one motion?
who's the citizen?
I have spoken with Mrs. Dewar, Ms. Leslie Dewar.
Oh, yeah,
and
she said
would
she'd
like to
repeat.
continue.
Right, I
Yeah,
remember
so
the
move
email.
on.
I'll move approval. I'll
Okay,
second.
we have a motion to appoint Ms. Gilhousen to the Value Adjustment Board, the alternate to be Ms. Bola, and Ms. Leslie Dewar will be the citizen appointee. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Mo-
Oh, the second was Ms.
Ms.
Gilhouse.
Gilhouse.
Ms. Condon made the motion. Ms. Gilhousen seconded it. Are you up with us? Okay.
And again, mine's not, just please put me down as a yes.
Have you tried refreshing?
Well, he had just played with it. And
Would you tell IT that it's still not working on Ms. Caracas? Let me finish voting. Okay. Okay. Next item, Consider school board attorney's request to increase the budget set aside for special local counsel in Florida Education Association et al. Versus School Board of Clay County et al. Case number 417 CV 00414 RH-CAS, United States District Court, Northern District of Florida, best and brightest lawsuit. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. if the
Condon made the
mic's on.
motion and Ms. Bola seconded.
You can't hear it. I don't think you can hear it. Can you hear me when I talk? Okay.
No, you need to speak up.
Yeah, I think it's the microphone.
Oh, maybe, we don't know.
But goodness knows, we don't want to.
Okay, the next item, D3, Human Resources, Special Actions. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Kerekes, second by Ms. Bola. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. The next item is D4, Human Resources, Special Action B. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Bola, second by Ms. Kerekes. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Ms. Kerekes, did yours come up?
It is now.
It did. Okay. Next is C4 that was pulled to discussion, personnel consent agenda, pulled by Mrs. Kerekes. Ms. Kerekes, you have the floor.
Before we have discussion, did you need a motion?
I'll move approval. I'll second.
Have a motion by Ms. Gilhousen, second by Ms. Condon. Okay,
right.
now you have the floor, Ms. Kerekes.
Well, I pulled this. I pulled this personnel consent agenda because I don't feel it's responsible for us to approve a
You
reappointment
need
for
to,
an.
I don't think your mic's,
Can you hear me?
now that's better.
Sorry. I know they were so sensitive, I had it moved away. I pulled it because I don't feel that it's responsible for us to approve a reappointment on an employee while the superintendent is currently conducting an investigation into an issue with the leave time. And I think I copied everybody on the original email when I requested the public records. I'm not sure if you received them or not. It was 270 pages of stuff, and this is how some of it looked. I don't know
Is that a
why,
redaction, or what
as
is
school
that?
board members, everything is redacted. We are school board members, so when a school board member requests information, we're requesting it to do our job. We are privy to anything and everything within the district, so there's really nothing that's ever redacted for a school board member. So it was kind of hard to read through this to even find what I was looking for, but there were a lot of things there. And so what I had asked the superintendent was to postpone the reappointment until he finishes conducting his investigation. And I guess maybe because of the late day, I talked to him today about it, and he is out of town. He wanted to just go ahead and move forward with it. I personally am not comfortable moving forward at this point. And it's procedural, so Mr. Daggett, it's not like we're not talking about terminating anyone because that's not our authority. This is just approving a reappointment or not while the superintendent is investigating something. So I kind of would like to know how my fellow board members feel about it. And I feel like if you didn't receive, and I've copied you on the email today also to make sure you were all aware of what I was asking, because I don't want you to be in the dark. And that's part of why I feel like we probably should postpone that one reappointment until the August meeting, until our superintendent is done. So, any discussion from anyone?
The superintendent also followed up to you,
He did.
indicating that he wanted to go ahead with this, and I am, having had my hand slapped before in trying to intervene on what the superintendent is determining with personnel issues, I would say I will basically go with the superintendent and say, let's reappoint
Okay.
and move on. And if something comes of this, excuse me, if something comes of this search, then the superintendent will handle it.
Investigation.
Thank you, investigation.
And I guess,
Then the superintendent will follow through on that. And that's where it belongs, and that's
well, I
his
think
job.
part of why it came to my attention and then I brought it up is because this first year is a probationary annual contract. So you don't need any real reason, and although there's just cause here. But it would be probably cleaner for the superintendent to go through all of this before he reappoints and then have to address it. So, whatever the board decides, that's fine. I know it's probably hard for some of you. I know Ms. Gilhousen, he was on your host committee. Ms. Condon, he's on your host committee for your reelection
I don't think it's
campaign, so
appropriate that you talk
it
about
makes it
individual
different.
employees. And Ms. Gilhousen was trying to speak a minute ago, and now you're talking over her.
And now
You
you're
said you wanted to
interrupting
know
me.
Okay,
how we
Excuse
feel.
me.
ladies,
Excuse me. I
Okay.
was still talking. So I will finish what I was saying, and then Ms. Gilhousen can speak. And then
You
will
are
have to turn
way
it
out of
also.
line.
I'm
Madam
sorry.
Chair, she is way
Okay.
out of order.
Everybody,
She is way out of
everybody
order.
take a deep breath. We're not
May I
gonna
finish
have
what I
this.
was saying?
You finish what you're saying?
Thank you.
And then Ms. Gilhousen has the floor, and then Ms. Condon has the floor.
And what I was saying
And I would
was-
appreciate it if nobody would butt in and talk when other people are
Thank you.
talking, but we're not going to conduct ourselves like this. We are an A school district.
That's right, we
Okay.
are. So what I was saying was, I understand that, the majority of the board will decide what they want to do. But I do feel like since we know that there's an issue here, it would be in the best interest of our district to postpone this reappointment until the August board meeting. And on that, I'll just let it go.
Okay, Ms. Gilhousen.
It's unprecedented to me for a school board member to investigate an employee. I don't know that that's ever happened before. So that makes me uncomfortable. That's my first comment. And then you made a couple statements about there's just cause in that file. For what?
I'm sorry, I didn't explain that. It does say in our HR policy 2.15, and I'll read it to you. An employee who is granted sick, extended leave, childcare, military, illness in the line of duty, or personal leave shall not accept full-time employment while on such leave of absence. And it does say, and this is something the board could do if they chose to, this condition may be waived by action of the board. And I didn't explain, I'm sorry, in my mind, I'm going quicker than my words. What I'm addressing is that Mr. Rollins is a county commissioner and has been taking leave.
Don't use names.
Okay, this employee is a county commissioner, we've got one in the district, who is using leave time for his commission job. So last year at this time, we disciplined an employee who used leave time for a second job, and we suspended him for 8 days without pay. So I feel like that this is our policy on how we handle this issue. We should be consistent across the board with everyone. And when this was brought to my attention that it falls under the same policy, HR 2.15A, that's why I brought it up. And I thank you for pointing that out, that I didn't give the specific policy.
Okay, I think we need to be very careful here because it's very obvious of what's been said. Mr. Davis and I talked today a couple times, and I talked to him after that email came out from Ms. Caracas. He told me that when he gets back, that he has already talked to Mr. Brodsky, and that Mr. Brodsky is going to look into it, and that if there is something that's wrong, that he will handle it. He's the superintendent, and I'm taking him as a man of his word, that if there's thing, I'm a little bit concerned. One thing I do want to ask, and then I'm going to call on you, Ms. Condon. Mr. D'Agata, when a school board member asks for a records request, are they supposed to be redacted like that? There's a black page there.
May
Are-
I?
do
That's
they-
a sign-in sheet.
And that's
And
what I
so
requested.
what you've redacted are other employees' signatures.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so I don't know.
I
And-
recognize it from looking at it upside down. I mean,
And
that's what
Mrs.
that
Bowl is
is.
correct.
Okay,
These are
well-
sign-in sheets, but there was no need to redact the other names on it because on some of these, there are notes in there that are redacted that you can't read. We are school board members. We're allowed to see the sign-in of any employee.
Okay,
So that
Yeah.
was my issue.
let's put this for Mr. Daggett to investigate about redactions for school board members. If you will look into that, and that's something that you can discuss later. I think enough's been said about it right now. Let's see, and Ms. Condon, you wanted to speak.
Yeah, I would just say, Mrs. Studdard, that my biggest concern right now is that we just had a school board member for the second time from the dais violate employees' due process rights, which is a violation of policy, but not just a violation of policy, a violation of Florida law. Our policy and Florida law expressly say if an employee is under investigation, they have a right to confidentiality, not in a public meeting announcing that they are under investigation.
That's why I tried to stop it.
And
Okay.
so my concern is, as a school board, we violated Florida ethics by this situation. We also are way out of line. The superintendent, before I even got on the board, I remember a conversation when Tony McCabe sat where Mr. Brodsky sits, where she cautioned the school board about acting outside of the superintendent's purview and the school board's purview. And the Florida statutes are very clear. The superintendent brings us a recommendation, and we have to have just cause. And Mrs. Caracas, while she's reading text messages on her phone, tells us that that she has a stack of papers that there is something in. We don't know that there's a problem. We
Right.
don't have those. And we're not the ones who would conduct an investigation. That belongs in the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. So this whole thing seems like political grandstanding,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel right
Well-
for the taxpayers of Clay County. This is not the appropriate business of the school board. We are to only take up what the superintendent has recommended. And in fact, he emailed us today and
Yes, I
said,
saw that.
please continue on with my recommendation for the personnel consent agenda. And in the event that there is an issue that comes up after the investigation through human resources, protecting the employee's confidentiality, which has nothing to do with an elected position with the school district, then I will act on that at that time. And so I feel like that the superintendent has asked us to act on a manner, and I would like to go forward with that.
Well,
Mrs.
I
Studdard, may
I
I
not
add
only saw
something?
his email, but he told me that from his voice to my ear, and he's a man of his word, and I know Mr. Brodsky he asked Mr. Brodsky to handle it. That's the proper channel. If something is out of order, it will be brought to us. But I think for now that we need to stop the conversation on this and take a vote and go on.
I have something else I'd like to say. And I would
Okay,
just like to
and
say, I
then
do
let's
agree.
finish it and vote,
I
please.
do agree with what you've said. This is not an investigation that should ever be done by a school board member, which is why I'm not investigating it. I'm asking the superintendent to do it, and I'm asking the superintendent to postpone. And actually, I'm asking you, as my fellow board members, when we know that there's an issue and a problem, how can we go forward with something when we know there
We don't-
possibly is
we
a
don't
problem?
know
Ms.
that there is
Caracas,
one.
see, don't go there right now, because no, 4 board members
I
are
see
not
what's
aware of
happening
the
here.
issue.
I understand
And so
completely.
it's going to be investigated. And
All right.
so just,
Let's move on with the vote. I'm fine with that.
okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carries 4-1. Ms. Kerekes descending. Okay. Let's see. The next is D5, approve the 2018-2019 district's property casualty active assailant insurance renewal submitted by Arthur J. Gallagher and Company broker. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second?
Okay, and are you, which option?
Oh, I would like to move that we approve option 3.
Thank you.
Second, yes.
Because I was thinking,
I
what
agreed.
what is this motion on? Okay, so the motion is to approve option 3, and you got your, the correction there.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Let's see. School board attorney remarks.
I just wanted to, in light, am I being picked up? In light of the discussion tonight on the employment matter, I just want to restate my intention and hope that we can get together for a workshop. I know we're all busy and we're setting up workshops for policy development. Part and parcel of that is the human resources, and we talked about in our last workshop the concept of finishing section 1 that we've already revised,
Right.
and then jump right to the human resources section. I really do think, and I want to get to the specific issue, the specific set of rules that pertain to administrative procedures and employment discipline. It all kind of wraps up, and it would give us all a better opportunity to get a shared understanding as to how these things function. And effectively, what we're doing here is just doing our best to ensure that we preserve the due process rights of all employees. So I'll look forward to that, and I think that we're hopefully going to pivot to that sometime in September.
Yeah, we'll get past the end of August, and sometime in September, we promise. And I'm so glad we're doing HR next. I think it's probably good. Okay. School board member remarks. Who wants to go first? Ms. Condon, you want to go first tonight?
Sure, I'll be happy to go first. I have no,
I go in reverse order today.
I have really no additional, just so proud of all of the gains that have been made across the district, and proud that the 2 highest gains were made in District 3. Woo-hoo. But so Wilkinson Elementary jumping 2 letter grades.
That's
and
amazing.
McRae coming up from the bottom of the district. I know there always has to be one at the bottom, but they were not happy to be there. So all the hard work, really, just congratulations to everyone. And then on a personal note, I would like to wish my parents a very happy, they watch every school board meeting, a very happy 50th wedding anniversary
Oh,
tomorrow.
congratulations. Very good. Is it today? Tomorrow. Very good.
Very nice.
This day and time, it's getting to be a very unusual thing. But I did that long ago. Okay, Ms. Kerekes.
I'll just echo everybody else's wonderful comments about our grades, how proud we are of everybody, our administrators, our teachers, our students and parents, even the support, like you said, it takes the whole village to reach an A district. And also congratulations to our bargaining team for working so well with, our support people and our teachers. I mean, like you said, this is great that we've got contracts with both of our associations, and I couldn't be prouder to work directly with them. And I appreciate all their support and everything they do for us as a district. And those teachers, then, they're they're the reason that we're in A district. So thank you. Thank you to our administrative staff, and everybody works so hard, and I just wish them all a great summer.
Okay, Ms. Bola?
I attended the Clay Special Olympics Black and White Dinner, and we got another certificate, but we also got another award. And I've asked Rhonda Smith to please come to the August meeting if she's able, perhaps a September meeting, to give us that award. It was unexpected and very, very nice award that the school district received from the Special Olympics.
Wonderful.
In addition to congratulating all of everyone. I mean, this was huge. Waking up and seeing that was huge. It was
Hey,
wonderful. And
You
hearing
just took
from
a
the-
big gulp of
Oh,
coffee
you
and
betcha.
said, hallelujah.
And special thanks to the superintendent.
Yes.
If he's watching out there somewhere in Boulder.
He told us he would do it,
he-
and I said, we're holding you to it.
You're
So,
leading us in the right direction, and we like going that direction. And we want to keep going that
bet.
direction. Another just quick note, congratulations to any new principals that we might have coming up. There might be one in the audience right now. And we look forward to great successes next year.
very
Thank you.
good. Ms. Gilhausen?
I really have nothing to add. I'm equally excited about the direction that we're headed. I'm super proud of our kids and of our teachers and the whole village that accomplished this A district rating altogether. And I see nothing but bright things in the future.
Very good. Don't you just want to say yippee? Okay. I really have nothing. I have just been on cloud nine all week. I'm just excited, hey, contract settled, a district, 8 in the state. I mean, life is good. But on a personal note, I want to tell y'all I'm going to God's country for my husband's class reunion this
Are
weekend.
you going to Wisconsin also?
No, I'm,
Oh.
you're out of order. I'm my husband's class reunion. I won't say how many, but and I found out from his sister that this is Peach Festival weekend in Chilton County. This is the big thing of the year, and I intend to get lots of Chilton County peaches. And
Weren't you a Peach Festival queen?
we don't even go there.
You were. You were. Do they welcome you back like former royalty, or? Did you practice your wave? It's not above the tiara, right? Isn't that, yeah?
But anyway, it's a big deal, and I got to say this. James is going to kill me. So the invitation came for his class reunion. It's going to be lunch Saturday at the Country Cabin, and we had a choice of barbecue or chicken. So this is going to be a big time affair. I'm really looking forward to it. He said, I went with you to yours a few years ago, and you owe me. So I'm going with a smile on my face, but I'm going to get to go up there and go into a store and find Alabama clothes and all kinds of Alabama things. Okay.
Madam Chair, could I just tell you,
Please.
take one pleasure? We have a special officer with us tonight, and he's gonna tell me I'm gonna be in trouble, but he is one of our resource officers. He's the resource officer at Keystone Heights Junior Senior High School, Officer Lee. And he does a
Welcome.
phenomenal job. He relates to those kids. They all know him. They all love him. And even if he's having to correct something, he's so loving, and we just really appreciate you. So I wanted to shout out to you. We don't normally get to see you, but thank you for being here tonight.
Hey, and he's turning red. Okay. Oh, and I got to tell you one more thing, and then I'm going to adjourn. At a meeting this week, Ms. Gilhausen has her 3 little boys there, and she had told me that one of them was an Elvis fan, and so I got to meet Brantley, and I think he's just cute as a button, and so I'm going to keep my eye out for some Elvis things for him, too. Okay. All right, meeting is
Ms.
adjourned,
Studdard,
ladies.
he's going to be so thrilled that you just said his name on TV.
Oh, he's cute as a button. Good. The meeting's adjourned.